Alrighty. Good morning. Hey, I'm Nick. Hey, JMB. How are you doing today? Hey, Bia. Good news, bad news. Good news is we're here for the daily market analysis. Bad news is we're probably not going to do, or we're not probably, we're definitely not going to do the educational session today. Just been bogged down with a couple of other things. So I'll be looking to do the session, the educational session tomorrow. All right. So you're free. You're free from me after 4 o'clock today. Hey Peter, how you doing? How's Kenya? How's Nairobi, Kenya? Hey Nick, good day. Thanks for that, BL. Super. I would love to visit Nairobi, Kenya. Not a part of the world I've been to yet. It is. It is still choppy as ever. I have one bad trade and one good trade from yesterday. Then that's it. Haven't had any trades today at all. Jen said, no great trades in Forex for me, but good crypto time right now. Good to see, good to hear, good to read. Give you one more minute before we get started. Again, if you are new to the session, if you're watching right now, do drop a message into the chat, either onto TradingView or onto YouTube. Let me know that you're here. Just say hi. Hey, Bima Magar. Welcome. Thank you for attending for the first time. I hope you become a regular. Where are you joining us from? All right. So if you're new to the session, say hi, which some of you have. Let me know where you're joining from. Love to find out. And then we'll get started shortly. We are streaming on TradingView and also on YouTube. So, hi, Chiwan. Good to see you. All righty. Good to go? Are we good to go? If we're good to go, let's get started. Okay, so thank you all again for attending the daily market analysis, where I will be doing a review of what happened on the fundamentals over the last couple of hours since last time we spoke. Then we'll look at the technicals. Or no, then we do a preview of what could happen coming up until the next time we speak. Then we'll look at the technicals, where are price levels, where are the support, resistance levels, levels to pay attention to. And then after that, we look into combining both the fundamentals and the technicals to identify possible trade setups. Okay, so again, at any point in time, if you do have a trading related question, please feel free to put it into the chat. Let me know. If you want some analysis on a pair that I'm not talking about, put it into the chat. Let me know. If you need further clarifications, you want to know more, you want me to repeat or elaborate on any points, put it into the chat and let me know. All right. There's three things you have to do during these sessions that I do daily at 3 p.m. Every day. Is that three things you have to do? One, turn up and make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Two, ask questions, ask away. Let me help you with your trading journey. And three, hopefully take some action based on what we have gone through, whether it's on a demo account as you learn how to trade, or on a small account, or even when you integrate it into your full trading account. All right, take some action, share with me so that I can help you trade better, more profitable, more consistently for the longer term. All right. Hey, Junior Mike, I think. Got long nicknames. I'll just say Junior Mike. Hey, Angel Case, how you doing? Bima's in Japan. Very nice. few ones in Australia. Very good to see you. So we're getting people from all around the world: Kenya, the UK, the I forgot where Gen B and Angel K's are. I'm typically quite good with that. Australia, Japan, Singapore, Asia, right? So wherever you are, thank you for attending. Let's hope you become a regular. And for all the regulars, thank you for being a regular. Let's keep going. A quick disclaimer before we get started. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs have not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. And please do your own due diligence, DYODD, because the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. So as much as I share with you possible trade setups, pairs that I'm looking at, things that I'm considering, news that I'm reviewing and previewing, do your own due diligence before you jump into a trade. Make sure it fits with your own uh, risk profile. You're not over leveraged. You're not jumping to all the trades blindly copying, and also that you're getting into your trades in that right mindset. Right? Trading mindset is the biggest component of trading. It's not the trade setup. It's not where you enter or where you exit a trade. It's really what you're thinking about as you trade. Okay, so mindset psychology is crucial. Okay, someone said, yes, hello, how do I start day trading or invest? I want to start learning at a young age. You've started. How do I start? You've started. You're at the right place. Um, you're here. So this is a starting point. Get good information, right? Get good information. Learn how to analyze the markets. I understand the risk, the possible risk, manage your risk properly, and then take it slowly. Just remember, it's not a race. It's not a race. As much as you see million-dollar dreams out there and things to buy and things to spend money on, this is not a race. This is trading. You're in for the long term. The longer you stay in it, the more likely you're going to make money. The more the longer you stay in it, the more you learn, the better your trade as well. Right? So that's the best general advice I'll give to most people starting off with, getting into trading. I hope it helps you, and do turn up. I mean, you got a lot of alphabets in your nickname, so I can't read that. We'll catch you more often during these sessions. JNB said, "I'm in Prague, not UK. I'm actually Dutch." So we got everyone around the world. UK usually we have Emily who's on the session, but I think yesterday he says he's gonna take a break until next week. Hey, Monkey83, good to see you here. So we've got a lot of new people. I do recognize or I do notice these are new nicknames. So thank you all for jumping onto the session. Hey, Mad Maniac. Hey, Ms. Lone. Good to have you here. Okay, so let's get started. Um, as we get started, a quick um, thing, I don't know what to call it, is unfortunately I forgot, or I missed out on this to share with you guys yesterday. The Kiwi or the RBNZ with their interest rate decision this morning. So we didn't click into the next day. This happened this morning. We didn't do the analysis on that. Interest rates in New Zealand has gone from 4.75. They were expecting only a 25 basis points rate hike to take it to 5%, but we saw a big surprise from the RBNZ where they hiked rates by 50 basis points, taking interest rates in New Zealand to a 5.25%. A big rate hike, a big surprise rate hike here. And what we actually saw on the Kiwi dollar as the news was released at 10 a.m. GMT plus 8, it was at 0.63, shot up all the way to 0.6379, almost 80 pips to the upside, retraced back down to 0.6350, and it's been consolidating at that range since. Okay, so I'm not sure if any of you did jump into this trade, but that was a quick move to the upside, and then it set at the 0.635 or sitting at the 0.6350 level. Although we missed out on looking at this yesterday, I think last week when I was sharing with you guys about the Kiwi dollar, I was also highlighting on this article that I wrote for one of the brokers here, where I was identifying, this was on the 28th of March, where I was looking at a bullish divergence using the MACD in price, where there was a bullish divergence on the Kiwi dollar, and that's why we were expecting it to actually, where was it, climb up to that 0.64 resistance area, which was tested in Feb 23. Okay, so 0.64 is at that resistance level that we are seeing there. So it actually did come quite close to that point. All right. Hey, Davix from Latvia, Euro pound looks like a good shot under 0.8725. What do I think? I will get to the Euro pound shortly. So just bear with me on. All right. So let's keep going. We did see a big move on the dollar index yesterday, right? We did see a big move on the dollar index yesterday. Unfortunately, not a lot of our trade setups got triggered, right? Or some of them got triggered and hit stop loss. It comes to a point where there are trades where hits take profits, which we saw the last couple of days. Yesterday's trades didn't play out too well, apart from gold. Why did the dollar index drop so strongly last night was because of the US JOLTS job openings. All right, I'll show you here that we've always, well, not always, but we've seen the job openings increasing, right? Increasing from the previous, uh, increasing from the forecast since November last year. We had a bit of a blip in October, but pretty much all the times we've seen job openings. We're talking about job openings in the US. The more jobs available, that shows that businesses are growing, uh, business activity is growing, and that's why they need to hire more people. Okay, uh, with the most recent data where it was 10.82 million, got revised down to 10.56. They were expecting a 10.49. It dropped quite significantly down to a 9.93 million. So a big drop in job openings signals a couple of things. One, it signals that we might be seeing a slowdown in business activity, right? A slowdown in business activity, which could also lead to a slowdown in overall GDP, signaling or increasing that risk for a recession in the US, which could translate to a global recession. So that's why these jobs opening numbers dropping saw a big impact on the dollar index. And then also as job openings decline, that's possibly going to um, factor into the FOMC's future decisions on rate increases. Right, more rates, or the higher the increased rates, the more of a slowdown is going to cause on economic activity, possibly slowing jobs down further, possibly increasing unemployment rate as well. So that was why we saw a big drop on the dollar index. I'll show you here on the dollar index. Last night at 10 o'clock, as the news was released, GMT plus 8, we saw it go from that 102 level straight down towards 101.48 or 45, 46, and then it consolidated along that 101.60 level. Right now, dollar index also still showing some downward or possibly a continuation to the downside. So this was what we said yesterday on the 4th of April, where the DXY was looking to break 102 with the next support at 101.60. It did that, followed that arrow, badly drawn arrow that I did. So I'll take that away for now. Now after it's consolidated since 11 o'clock last night, 11 p.m. GMT plus 8, all the way now it looks like it's trying to break out to the downside again. Okay, so we do have that most recent low at that 101.45 level. Again, a confirmation of the breakout to the downside is going to be if it breaks below 101.45. Is it true you can use patterns to buy and sell, or is it just or I wouldn't use patterns alone. I wouldn't use patterns alone to decide to buy or sell. My approach is, indicators, patterns, um, what else? Or most concepts, you can see it. It does signal some possible trade direction, but the more analysis that you put together, I would say one or two, or two to three analysis that you can put together, and when you see that confluence, that will give you further confidence for the trade. All right, so I would never look at just a pattern or just a Fibonacci level or just a indicator to tell me whether to buy or sell. I would look to, combine it, right? Combine it from MACD together with the Fibonacci levels or support levels, or the RSI together with trend and moving averages, that kind of setup. Right? So I'll look at combining a few different analysis together. US Swiss franc has formed a descending triangle, broken and closed below the support on the daily. It's formed a lot of weak candles on the H1. What would be the trigger for a sell? Would it be best to wait or retrace and then sell? US Swiss franc is one of the pairs I'll look at, so we'll get to that. All right, so dollar index, if it breaks below 101.45, we will have to look for the next key support level. And you can see that it is at this point where we've seen it test early this year. And the lowest it got to in early Feb was at 100.84. 100.84 once it broke below 101.50 or 101.45. Big downside potential on the dollar index if it does break below this current support area, right? So I'll drag this right across just to highlight to you guys what we're looking at there. Okay, so I would say that a trigger level for further downside on the dollar index, right? So you might have seen some where they say look to buy down or sell down. You can't trade the dollar index. I actually had someone ask me a question about this last time round. Just remember, you can't trade the dollar index. So it's the 5th of April. Move this around a little bit. Okay, the 5th of April, dollar index, we're looking for it to break below 101.40. Next support level at 100.84. Very big downside. You can see very big downside here, potential downside here for the dollar index. Just be extra careful. I think BL stated at the start of the session, it's very choppy price action recently. I think this is going to continue, right? This choppy price action is likely to continue just because it is reaching into that area where we saw in early Feb. And you can see that I'll move this across. Right, once it breaks down, we could see it drop quite strongly and then quite choppy and might bounce back up. So just be extra careful. We're reaching a very key support level on the dollar index. What is the best combination for low time frame? I think you're talking about best combination of indicators and analysis. I would say on a lower time frame, the best combination would be trend, support, resistance, and one of the oscillator indicators. Right? It could be any one that you're comfortable with, or one of the oscillator indicators, or at better still, price action, and definitely news as well. So I'm just adding more and more stuff in. Okay, so there's the dollar index looking for it to break below 101.40 with the next support level at 100.84, which is what we see here. Um, what could drive what could drive the dollar index lower? Right, we've already seen it trading down. It's at that level now. What could drive it lower is if we do see non-farm ADP, non-farm employment change number maybe being weaker, right? It was 242. We're expecting a 208. If it's below 208, if it's maybe even the 190 level, we could see the dollar index drop quite strongly. One thing to think about, I think we had that conversation with BL the last time around, is that the ADP non-farm is not a pre indicator of the non-farm payrolls that's happening on Friday this week. Okay, so don't use it as an indicator of what could happen on the non-farm payrolls. It is a privately collected number by the ADP, so it does have some impact, but it's not likely to be huge. Right, not likely to be a huge impact. Most market analysis or eyes are still focused on the non-farm payrolls this Friday. Why I think that we might see a weaker number is really because of the JOLTS jobs opening number from yesterday. Bad jobs opening number. I don't anticipate that we're going to see strong employment numbers here for the US. Hey, Kavindu. I was thinking, where's Kavindu? But good to have you here. One thing that could drive the dollar index lower is the ISM services PMI, right? I think it was 2 days ago where we saw the US ISM manufacturing PMI number came out at 46.3, which we actually saw a big push to the downside on the dollar index. So if services PMI in this case does come out, it was 55.1, expected 54.3. I think it might come out at about that 52, maybe 52 level, right? I do think that we might see a slowdown. We are seeing some slowdown in general right across the board. So a slowdown in the services sector for the US is going to cause further downside on the dollar index. All right. Hey Spiros, how are you? Good to have you here. Peter asking about the FTSE. I will do that as well. Is TradingView the best trading website, or should I be aware of others? I do think, not because I'm on it right now, but I do think TradingView is the best trading website. If you are able to link your brokerage account to TradingView for the trades, to enter trades, even better still. I haven't figured out how to do that on mine yet, so I'm still doing MT4, but I do a lot of my analysis on TradingView. All right. What was I talking about? Okay, so that's my dollar index done. Then we'll look at Kiwi dollar. Okay, Kiwi dollar pushing up because of the interest rate decision. Right now at that 0.6351 level, you would all notice that it is in the middle of the resistance turned support. And then we've got a resistance at the 0.6390 or 0.64 level. Okay, so and you can see that 0.64 was a level that we visited on Valentine's Day this year, 14th of Feb. Okay, so I would say that we could see this push up. We could see this push up, especially if the dollar index continues to drop. The only thing is that this was our trade yesterday, which didn't work out. So I'll take that away. The only thing is that if you did get into a trade here, say about 0.6355, you take profit of 35 pips, it'll be impossible to put your stop loss below that support because it'll be a terrible risk to reward. I would say that you could be looking at a very tight stop loss at about 15 pips, right? So I would say wait for this to push up. I would say 0.63. You know what? I'll tell you what. The Kiwi dollar could trade up to that 0.6390 level. It wouldn't be a trade. It will not be a trade that you want to look at on the H1 time frame. It might be something that you want to look at in a smaller time frame, possibly on M15 if you are familiar with that. Um, just because if you look for it on H1, it's not going to present you a good risk to reward kind of trade for that upside potential. Okay, so this might be we're looking for it to get up to the 0.6390 or 0.64 level, um, but you might have to do that on a smaller time frame in terms of a trade setup. Make sense? Up to 0.64. Look at smaller time frame. Right. So through my years of experience doing live streams and sessions like these, sometimes I forget, and I try to, really try and identify trade ideas or trade setups across all the pairs. It's not always going to work out that way. There are times where you would just be, you notice that price could get there, but it's possibly a setup that you would miss if you look at it at a different time frame. Okay, so that was a Kiwi dollar. Aussie dollar did the same thing, right? We saw it push up. This push up was because of the Kiwi dollar. We did get into that trade. Unfortunately, we would have hit stop. I actually lost on this trade yesterday. I saw the Aussie bounce off this level. No, what was it? After the session, if you saw it trade down, I was trying to buy it back up. I was trying to scalp it up a little bit, looking for that. I'll tell you what I was doing. I was doing this. This was a rushed trade got into. So I was looking at this 38.2. I saw it bounce. So I looked to get in. I thought it was going to hold the level, got in, and then it just went down. I had tight stop. It went down and got me out of my trade. Right? So I wasn't very happy about that on the Aussie dollar. It was a that trade was about a no, I think it was a little bit higher than that, or 15 pip downside. So I was looking at that, 15 to about 30 to 40 pips up. It just went down and hit my stop loss. Um, went down. I just because I lost on that. I didn't get into this trade, but it did go up. I made some money when it gone up in the stop loss, and now it's continuing back down again. Now looking at this on the Aussie dollar, right? It's a little bit weird. I'll tell you that the Aussie dollar is reacting a bit weirdly. Why I say that is because the dollar index consolidating, trading slightly to the downside, but yet we're seeing the Aussie dollar trade quite strongly lower. So something to watch out for. It is right at this level here, okay, of 0.6723. We saw this as a reaction level here towards on Friday last week. We saw it last night as a reaction level, and it's there right again. Okay, I'll take this away and then I'll move this up as my resistance. So if price thus push up, this is a bit of a risky move because it is super choppy in this region. Ideally, I'll tell you what I would like to see is for it to close down, right? For this to close to the downside, just so that we could be looking to sell this down. So at about 0.6715, the take profit will be about 30 pips. Your stop loss could be relatively tight as it breaks that interim level at about 15 to 20 pips for that downside potential on the Aussie. It is moving against the trend of the dollar index, so you just want to be careful about that. I'm looking for it to come down to test this trend line, then maybe we'll see it bounce up from there again. Okay, so Aussie dollar looking to sell down from 0.6715, 30 to 20 pips. So Aussie dollar, we're looking to sell down from 0.6715. Our stop loss is about 20 pips. So not a great risk to reward kind of trade. Just bear in mind, our take profit is about 30. Okay, so I'm looking for that push down. If it does push up, right, it bounces off this level, you could look for it to go up again. I would not get into a trade. I would rather be looking for it to test the 0.6790 resistance level and then looking to see if it, for that reaction there. If it doesn't break above this resistance, then we could be looking for it to sell down again. Alternatively, you could be looking for that to move down. All right. Hey, yeah, I will get to pound shortly. Hey, Jamil, good to see you here. Good morning. Where should I get a brokerage account? Waters Bottle, where are you? Where in the globe are you? Before, just so that we know where you are, just so that you can think about, we can suggest which brokerage account to get to. Um, yeah, let me know. You can PM me or you can let me know. All right. So next up is the dollar yen. All right. I'll tell you that for just a split moment just then, I was a little bit distracted because I looked into my MT4, closed off my trade on the dollar yen because I actually did sell it down, sold it down, did a quick scalp, and I closed out just at those lows there. So I'm out of a trade on the dollar yen. What I actually did, so I lost on my um, Aussie dollar yesterday. Then the next thing I looked at was the dollar yen, right? I saw that move down. So at about this point, just before the news last night, just before the news, I think it was like 5, 10 minutes before the news, we were looking at it and said, possibly could trade down. I didn't think it would drop that quickly. So I actually did sell the dollar yen. I had a 20 pip stop loss and I had a 60 pip, oops, where was it? 60 pip take profit. What was it? 60 pips about there. Right, 60 pip take profit. Just a 20 to 30 kind of risk to reward ratios. So it shot down, and also it was at that just before that round number of 1.32, right? And if I showed this to you on M5, that was one of the very nice trades because at 10 o'clock, right, at the news release, it just went straight down. It just went down, hit my take profit, and I was out of the trade. All right, so I did lose about 20 something on the Aussie, and then I got about 60 on the dollar yen. Okay, so just showing you some of my trades I did. Um, I want to be able to, try and let you guys know almost instantly. So not during these sessions, we're working on something to let you know instantly, possible trade setups that I'm looking at. Is Binance good for beginners? Binance would be good for beginners if you're trading crypto. not forex. Thanks for that, JMB. Okay, so now dollar yen consolidating long between that 131.40 level and that 131.80 level, right? In that range, I'm actually looking for, while I was scalping it slightly to the downside. I don't know where's this line from. Okay, so that's not valid anymore. Let's take that away. All right, so I'm looking for a breakout. Dollar yen is broken that trend line, so I'll take that away as well. I'm looking for a breakout to the downside. All right, you can see that the last time I was consolidating here, we saw a breakout straight down towards that 130.63 level. I'm looking for a possibly similar move down to that support. Okay. Hey, Carlos Mata. Good morning from Madeira Islands. Good to see you here. Okay, so what we're looking for here on the dollar yen is a breakout to the downside. I can say 131.20, below 131.25. A take profit would be about 60 pips. A stop loss would be, just because it's breaking of that consolidation, you'd be looking at the most a 30 pip stop loss, a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the downside there for the US yen. Right? It's going to consolidate there. I don't think it'll be a quick trade that you get into quickly, but look for that breakout potential down towards that 130.65 support level. All right, so 30 to 60, 131.25. I see you guys asking about a pound dollar that is coming up next. Coming up next. Look for a breakout. Um, Sell below 131.25. Stop loss about 30 pips. Take profit about 60 pips. Okay, looking for that. That would be, from in addition to yesterday, it'd be 120 pips on the yen. I'll be super happy for that. Hey, Vinesh. Thank you for your analysis. I took the pound trade on Monday and it was a great trade. I appreciate your taking time to do this. You're most welcome there, Vinesh. Glad you're making money on this analysis. You guys make money, I'm happy. Right? Although I don't get anything of it, but I'm happy that you guys are making money. So pound dollar next, right? We saw it break up. I'm still looking for it to possibly turn down. I don't think it's going to happen soon with the way the dollar index is performing or not performing. So it's likely to consolidate, it's likely to range in this level. And if I went to the H4, I'll show you that we talked about this yesterday, that 1.2450 level, key level. Beyond that, obviously the super big one is at 1.2660. We do have a little bit at 1.2555. Okay. So now coming back to the current, I don't know why are these dotted lines. We'll come to a point where I'll reset the charts again just because I'm realizing we have too many lines soon. All right. So again, very similar to the Kiwi dollar, where it's sitting right in that middle of the support and resistance level, right? The support level at 1.2450, the take profit at 1.2555. It's right in the middle, it's at 1.25. So what you could be looking at here is consolidation. Looking at the news, we're not seeing a lot of news. We have services PMI numbers for the UK, but it's going to be the same number at 430. So I think that we're going to see it consolidate. Continuing on from yesterday's analysis, if we do see it push up, I'm looking for that retrace or that correction to the downside, right? And it could very well be in the view that the higher it climbs, the bigger the correction and retracement might be. but it's going to be highly dependent on what the dollar index does. Okay. Um, yeah. So I'll also do this. The trend line doesn't work very well here. All right. Yeah, so we could see it come back down, test, and reject. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. Take that away. Okay, I'd like to see this. Either it pushing up, testing and rejecting that 125, 1.255 level to turn down, or breaking out of this consolidation to trade down. It is a bit risky. You all know that I'm a trend following trader, so what I'm looking at here on the pound dollar is the counter trend opportunity, just because of how big it's climbed, and we do see the pound dollar retracing quite strongly at times, right? Most recently last Friday, where it hit that 1.24 and went straight down, pretty much straight down towards 1.228. I'm looking for that big retrace back down again. Okay, no possible big trade, no trade idea for now. Okay, but we're looking for a counter trend. Needs time to set up, possibly to trade down to that 1.24 level. So we're looking for the counter trend. We're looking to trade down to 1.24 as a round number and as a key support level right now. Okay, so for Lydia who asked about pound dollar and also for um, Momin Khan and anyone else who asked about a pound dollar, what do you think? Do you think, or anyone who didn't ask about pound dollar as well, do you think that we're going to see that big retrace, right, or rather the big correction to the downside, or do you think that it's going to consolidate here, have a breakout, and reach new highs, possibly towards a 1.26 level? Put it into the chat. Let me know what do you think. I mean, on everything else, I'm trend following. I'm just looking at possible opportunities to counter trend on this. Can I ask where can I see some news about crypto trading? Is there a site like Forex Factory? I'll tell you guys, I previously registered a um, site for crypto news. I never really built up for that. So I don't actually follow the crypto news too much. So you can actually get good crypto news on TradingView as well. So you can use that. Gen B thinks correction. I think pound dollar. Yep. I hope we're aligned. DL says pound dollar should be heading down. Okay. So there we go. We have two out of a few other people who said that we might see this trade down. That's analysis. That's a market view. See what price tells us. So with that, then we look at the euro dollar. Right? Euro dollar is trading higher. Right? We saw this on Tuesday or last night, the big push up on the dollar could have triggered your trade if you had your order there. It pushed up, it's hit that 1.0970 level and consolidated. I do think there's continual upside potential on the euro dollar. So I do think it's more upside potential. What you could be looking for, if you didn't already get into that first trade, is possibly looking to buy above 1.0970, take profit about 50 pips towards, well, 55 pips towards that 1.1025 level. Your stop loss can be a little bit tighter, I would say about 40 pips. So it's still a 1 is to 1.26 to the risk reward ratio, um, just because it's a little bit higher than we would normally have bought into a trade, but that's looking for continuation to the upside on the euro dollar, right? And we have that upward trend line supporting the view as well. Okay, Aussie US triggered. Let me check. All right. Wait for the 15 minutes. Please wait for the candle to close. I would say wait for the candle to close. Could retrace a little bit, but yeah, as I'm not as excited as you because I can't get into the trade right now. But if you do jump into a trade, please make sure disclaimer applies. Euro dollar, we were looking at this, you know, with the way the Aussie dollar is moving, yen consolidating, Kiwi trading down, pound dollar consolidating. I would say that we could even be looking at, yeah, I think this will be fine. Okay, I will update the Kiwi dollar and say that we might not see it trade up. We would actually be looking for this to come down, bounce off this level, trade up if we do see the dollar continue to drop. So maybe a trade idea here will be at 0.320, stop loss about 30 pips, take profit. You can just go for 60 pips towards the reset high, 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside, looking to buy as it rejects the support level 0.6320. So let me update the Kiwi dollar. We're looking to buy 0.6320, stop loss about 30, TP about 60 pips. All right, super. Again, I'll do this once now. If you guys have not already, please help me out. Click that rocket ship button and also that thumbs up button on YouTube or on TradingView. And I'll tell you right now, the guys on YouTube is winning with the thumbs up compared to TradingView. So come on, people on TradingView. That said, we did the Euro 1.0970, stop loss 40, take profit 50. Euro 0970, stop loss 40, TP 50. Positive risk reward, but not a super big trade there. Then next up, Swiss franc. I think someone asked about Swiss franc earlier just then. This was a good trade that we did. Um, it happened at the same time at that 10 to 11 o'clock period. I was too happy on my yen that I didn't get into this one. It went down, hit that 0.9070 support level, good 27, 30 pips to the downside there. Oops, on the Swiss franc. Right now, continuing with that downside, breaking or reaching the 0.9045 level. Further downside is very far away. We have another support level. August 2021. Right? So we're in that level where we're looking at 2021 levels. So 2 years ago, where we saw it break this point, we saw it break this 0.905 level and trade down towards 0.9020. So multi-year low, to be careful at this point. If the dollar does continue trading down, then we're going to see this trade down towards that very big key support level. All right, it's all resistance. I'll change next time. Could be looking, this would be a trade that you'd be looking at, but it's only a 24 pip move to the downside. I would say that let it trade down. Let's see what happens at this point with it being a multi-year low. with the way it reacted in August in 2021, we might see a big bounce up from here. Okay, so I'd rather sit out, wait for it to test that key support level, and then look for that bounce up on the US Swiss franc. Okay, so Swizzy, for the Swizzy, we would say wait, look to test key support level. No trade. Just looking for it to come down to test that support level. I do see a lot of questions about the euro pound, so let's jump to that first. Euro pound right at that support turned resistance level right now. Looks like a short under 0.8725. 0.8725. 872. Wait, 8725. Am I looking at this correctly? 725. Hey, wait, that's way down there. And no, I would say that if the pound dollar continues consolidating, or if it does push up, pound dollar rising is going to cause the euro pound to trade down, and then if the euro dollar trades, across or pushes up slower than the pound dollar, then we might see this push down. Another view is also that we have that big push to the downside. All right. So it's forming along this resistance level with that trend line to the downside. So I would even be thinking that um, for the risk taker, for the risk taker, is that if the candle in the next 8 minutes, possibly, or the next hour, closes like that or closes a bit stronger to the downside, we could be looking to sell down on the euro pound at about 0.8765, let's say. Okay, take profit about 35 pips. Stop loss will be tight at about 15 pips. A 1 is to 2.6 risk reward ratio to the downside, especially if it stays below this point. For the less risk taker or the risk adverse, you could be looking to sell down from 0.8756 or 55. Stop loss will be about 20 pips. Take profit just slightly over 20 pips. So you're looking at almost a 1 is to 1, or slightly more than a 1 is to 1 risk reward ratio to the downside. Okay, so euro pound, I do think. Good day, JNB. Take care now. Trade well. I would say 0.8765. Stop loss 15 pips. Take profit 30 pips. So euro pound. Sell below 0.8765, which is actually coming very soon. If in 7 minutes it closes like that, I think there'd be a good trade opportunity there with a 15 to a 30 pip. Stop loss 15, TP 30. Righty. Now, what's up next? US CAD. It does seem like a lot of things are setting up, so just watch out for that. All right. Yen is trading lower as well. US CAD bouncing back up, a bit surprising. Well, trade yesterday didn't trigger. With the way the dollar is weakening, we should be seeing this trade down, but it's bouncing up, most likely because of oil. Right, oil just consolidating along that range, slightly bounce slightly to the upside, slightly to the upside. So I think that US CAD, I wouldn't be looking to buy it up. Just look at that big downtrend. Although it's found as support, what you could be looking for is a possible bounce and then a sell down again, right? But like I was telling you guys, it is um, Easter or Good Friday coming up. It's Easter Monday coming up as well. We're going to see a long weekend across the board. A lot of major economies are going to be closed. So today might be the last big, well, not big, the last tradable day. I think that tomorrow is a choppy price action, and then liquidity and volatility are going to slow down quite significantly on Thursday and Friday, right? So I would say that US CAD probably just um, wait for the rebound. Then last dollar saw gold push up past 2000, breaking that 2025 level, looking at further upside potential. I'm now, back to focusing on gold because of that push up. I did some small trades on gold, scalping it up. Now with it getting up to 2025, the next big key level, huge major resistance level at 2070. 2070. I do think that we might see it continue trading up. It's going to be choppy, but with a lack of significant levels, you can see here we're just seeing big candles here. So lack of big significant candles. What you could even be looking for is a possible hesitation level. Is broken our hesitation level already. Um, Next one at 61.8, which we're coming very close. So 2033, and beyond that, we could see 2050, right? So 2033 and 2050. So we're looking at gold upside to 2033 and possibly 2050. A major resistance there, 2070. All right. Given our French services PMI lower than expected, but we're not seeing a significant move yet on the euro, right? It did retrace, but we're not seeing a big move yet because we are we have the German and French. But you have to see what happens on the eurozone as a whole, right? In 2 minutes. Okay, makes sense. Let me see what other questions. I see a lot of good questions here. So, not something I commonly look at, but let's look at the FTSE. Yeah, I would say major resistance for H4 time frame. Look at that. Major resistance levels. Okay, in that whole area there. If it does reject, I could see it trade back down with the with the interim level here at about 4,835. All right, so Peter Savioso, who's asking about this, could be looking at this push down, especially if the pound dollar does push to the upside. We could see um, this push down, especially if the euro and the pound dollar push up. We could see the index push back down again. All right. I'm actually quite keen on the pound, looking like that breakout potential, and also on that breakout on the US yen. Alrighty. So with that said, thank you, Vinesh. Hope you trade well, trade safe. All right. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. with the daily market analysis again. If you do have any feedback, questions, comments, please feel free to put it into the chat even after the session. And if you are watching this after the live session, do join us at the live session if you can. If not, do drop a message and say hi. If that's it, trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.